Kruschke, who leads the Department of Public Works. I want to start, though, by thanking Representative Moore for joining us and for the support and advocacy that she's been engaged with over the past couple of weeks as we continue our recovery efforts from the floods that have happened in Milwaukee. FEMA representatives have been here. They've been conducting the first review of some of the damage here. It's part of the process as we seek our disaster designation. And I can tell you that city departments are engaged in providing information in support of our applications. And I really want to take a moment just to thank our city employees from a number of departments. They've been out there actively engaged, working to make sure that folks are able to recover from the floods here in Milwaukee. What they've done is admirable, including when many of them have been suffering from some of the same issues at their own homes as they've been affected by the floods too. Ultimately, the disaster declaration, though, is not a decision that we can make, those of us who are here. That is going to be determined exclusively by the President of the United States. He'll make the final decision on that. The City of Milwaukee Health Department has been handing out flood cleanup kits, and it's been a very popular service. In fact, hundreds of kids have been provided with the basic needs to clean up some flooded areas that folks have in their homes. So I strongly encourage those who were flooded to take cleanup seriously. It's really, really important that you take that very seriously. It's a health and safety issue, both as you clean up and for the long-term safety of your home. The Congresswoman and I will be stopping by the flood cleanup kit distribution site just after this press conference here this afternoon. Keeping safety in mind, our Milwaukee Public Library branches will be offering personal protective equipment, PPE, N95 masks, at all of their branches that are open. These masks offer some protection from airborne particles, including mold spores. The libraries that were closed because of flooding, they're back open, with the exception of the library down in the Bayview neighborhood. I'm told that building, though, is just days away from being able to reopen, which is really good for folks down in Bayview. We're here at the Northside Self-Help Facility, where there's been a huge increase in the amount of people dropping off material. And as I said, I'm joined by Commissioner Jerrel Kruschke, who can share more about some of that work that the crews are doing here. But before passing it off to Representative Moore, who will speak next, I just want to say and reiterate that, again, our city crews in all of our departments, the police department, the fire department, Office of Emergency Management, the health department, certainly here in the Department of Public Works, they've been working literally around the clock working to make sure that we get this city back up and running. And I'm hearing some reports that some people are trying to take advantage of the situation and dumping illegally in neighborhoods throughout the city. That should not happen, especially when we've extended hours, especially when it's free, when we're doing bulky cleanup at people's properties. That should not happen. It is totally out of line. It is totally unacceptable. And if you're caught doing that, you will be cited. All right? So I just want to make that abundantly clear to people who may try to take advantage of the situation and dump things in neighborhoods across Milwaukee. It is entirely unacceptable, and you will be cited if you do that. I just want that to be very, very clear about that. Another thing that I think is really, really important to mention is that there are so many people in Milwaukee who are trying to clean up. So many people who lost so many things of sentimental value. And as a response to that, there are a number of individuals and organizations here and across the country who are actually rolling up their sleeves and looking to help, looking to be a solution, looking to be a part of the recovery efforts here. Some of those organizations are partnered with organizations that we know and trust here in Milwaukee, like the United Way. One that I'd like to point out is Crisis Cleanup. They won't ask for any contract, they won't ask for any money, but I just want to make sure that folks, if you've worked with 211, they point you in the right direction to some of these partner agencies that are helping with some of the cleanup efforts. Crisis Cleanup is one of those organizations, so please feel free to work with them as you work to get your basements cleaned up and make the way so contractors can come and do whatever is necessary in your own property as we work on the cleanup efforts here. So with that, I'm going to pass the microphone off to United States Representative Gwen Moore.
thank you, Mayor Johnson. This is my first time meeting with the mayor. We've met many times over his tenure, first time at the Milwaukee dump. And as I see the steady stream of trucks and carloads of damaged mattresses and stuff, I am just so grateful for the organization and the level of leadership that you have done in making sure that this is a systemic effort to not only clean up, but to document all of the work that so many agencies have been done. I mean, you know, the firefighters, and I understand that there were about 65 water rescues done by our firefighters and our police agencies. I was so happy to join the mayor earlier just to celebrate some of our first responders that were there on the scene. I also want to thank members of the community organizations that the mayor has already mentioned, but I also want to just yield a tremendous amount of respect for those everyday citizens who plunged in to help their neighbors, the very young people, the youth that use their energy and muscle to really help people in distress. That, I think, is just so emblematic of what the city of Milwaukee stands for. I want to say that it is very important to report the damages that you have endured to 2211, to that number. Even if you've been able to get your family to come in and put in a big effort to clean, quote unquote, clean your basement, it's important to document all of the effort and work so that we can get the full reimbursement from FEMA to which we are due, including extraordinary losses to citizens on an individual basis. And it's important that with that information gathering activity is a call to 211. Please do that, in addition to taking advantage of the immediate resources that are available to you for remediation. Let me just say that FEMA has landed on the ground as of yesterday. They've gone door to door to talk to individual residents. They've gone to not only Milwaukee County, but Washington County and other places as well to try to assess the damage. And so far, we have gotten a clear 53% either total damage or major damages to properties in Milwaukee should qualify us for those FEMA funds. I'm so happy to report that all of our elected officials, you know, and we are so often tearing each other apart on a partisan basis, but they have all come together to request assistance from FEMA with regard to the 1,000-year flood that we've endured here. And so I think it's really important to sort of end on a positive note that we're all in this together and we're all working together. Now, one other thing, as I look at my staff here who sort of gets a lot of the calls that are coming in about their housing damage, as I look her straight in the face from this perch, I want to say that the process of assessing the damage and putting a value on that has just started. So there are no checks in the mail at this point. So we're asking you to report your damage, make sure that it's documented. If you've got pictures, whatever, be sure to do that, and we will work in your best interest to try to make you whole. I am so happy that the Commissioner of Public Works is here, and I'm so happy that Bella Johnson is here with us here today. And my son, State Representative Supreme Moro Mukunde, is here with me today. And because we are one big happy family. And so I am so happy that the Commissioner of Public Works is here with us today to share with us any other details that that all the people behind the scenes know and really make things happen. Commissioner, question.
So, good morning, transitioning into good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I'm Jerrel Kruschke, Commissioner of Public Works. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge Mayor Cavalier Johnson for his leadership throughout this flood response. I'd also like to thank Congresswoman Moore for joining us here today and seeing firsthand what we're facing here in Milwaukee. And we're grateful for her advocacy at the federal level. As you just heard, this has been a massive operation. And what we're talking about today is not just about debris and damage, it's about people. It's about neighbors helping neighbors, and to hundreds of city workers who have stepped up without hesitation. Across the Department of Public Works, teams have been working long hours, through weekends, and often in difficult conditions. Many of them have managed flood damage in their own homes, yet continue to show up every day to help the city. Our call center has received over 3,500 calls on that Monday just after the flood, and when a day would normally receive 800. That first week we received 13,000 calls for service, 3 times the normal call activity on a normal basis. And we had 8,000 calls just this week and week 2. Every one of those represents a resident in need and a team working to respond. Our sewer crews have responded to more than 1,900 reports of backflows and about 230 calls on clogged catch basins and surface ponding. Our forestry teams have addressed over 450 calls for downed limbs and trees, helping our streets remain safe and accessible. Our electrical services crews have responded to over 200 circuit area-wide outages, restoring lighting to impacted areas across the city. All of these have been in addition to the significant work being done by our sanitation crews, who continue to remove large volumes of debris from homes across the city. As the mayor mentioned, thousands of homes have already received special collections, and thousands of vehicles have passed through our drop-off centers. And just yesterday, we announced that we're going to have free access to both services at the curb and here at the drop-off center on the north side and south side until August 31st. We know residents are still cleaning up, and we want to make sure that everyone has a chance to get the support that they need. To support the level of service, we've added 45 additional pieces of equipment from private contractors and from our partners at Milwaukee County. Their assistance has helped us expand the capacity and move more efficiently through neighborhoods, and has made it more possible to access and get that debris off the roadways quicker than we ever would have by ourselves. Everyone is doing their part to keep this recovery moving. Everyone is doing their part to keep our staff spirits up, and we appreciate all the positive comments that have come from the public, elected officials. I'm getting emails every day, and I continue to pass those on. And I think that's why with our folks working 10 to 14-hour days, it's kept them moving because they see the impact on the community. And finally, I want to thank the residents of the city of Milwaukee. We thank you for your cooperation, we thank you for your patience, and the support you have shown our crews. Your kind words have meant a great deal to our crews working long hours, and we still have a lot of work to do, but we'll get there together. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And with that, we'll take a couple of questions. Although, first, before doing that, I just want to say and echo the comments by Representative Moore about my appreciation and the appreciation of citizens all throughout the city about the bipartisan approach that's been taken to this. Every single member of Wisconsin's congressional delegation, both of our senators and all of the members of the House representing Wisconsin, signed on to a letter urging for the president to make sure that this community gets the support that it needs from the federal government. So I am very, very appreciative of that. And with that, we'll take a couple of questions.
Did FEMA talk with you personally during their visit yesterday?
No, I haven't had the chance to speak with FEMA personally myself, although my team has been in contact with FEMA and has been active participants in working to make sure that this application is done and that the damage that has happened to our property in the city of Milwaukee is allocated here too.
How much is this costing the city in overtime? I mean, all the cleanup, all the extra cleanup. What is that bottom line figure going to cost the city? Just for the cleanup.
Yeah, so right now we're estimating anywhere from 20 to 60 grand a day is going in extra forces towards that. And obviously that total is pivotal. Depends on how much we're collecting on a daily basis, how much private contractor help we have. So it's fluctuating. I mean, when this is all over, we'll be able to give, obviously the media and the public a total of what the impact was to the city of Milwaukee. Well, I do have some notes here, and I'll share. So on the 2 drop-off centers, as of That's starting 8/11 that Monday all the way up until yesterday. We had 14,473 vehicles pass through the drop-off centers. That's a huge increase from what we normally see. And this is all flooded material. So I've been trying to talk to my folks of what are you seeing? Is this contractor stuff, just branches? No, this is flooded material. Just yesterday we had 1,332, so the volume is still high. We've addressed over 9,200 homes as of yesterday on bulky waste pickup. And what we're seeing is we're about averaging about 1,000 to 1,500 collections that we're actually possibly are doing a day. But we're still seeing about another 400 to 600 come in on a daily basis requesting bulky site pickup. So it's not over. We've seen that the numbers drop, but there's still a lot of folks that are still accessing their basements today. And this is why we've extended our hours and extended that pre-collection at the side of the road.
Representative Moore mentioned 65 police and water rescues. Is that within your district or the city of Milwaukee or the county?
Well, I don't know specifically, but I will say that we had fire departments. We had the North Shore, a fire department as well, engaged. And as far as I'm thinking, North Sheboygan, Jefferson County, the fire rescues as well. So we were really blessed with an abundance of resources there.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Representative. Those, from my understanding, are in the city of Milwaukee. Although, as the representative points out, this affected our entire community, right? This was not a disaster that was, limited to the confines, the municipal boundaries of the city of Milwaukee. So many communities in southeastern Wisconsin and other parts of the state were affected by this, and so we really appreciate the engagement and support of all of our law and protective services that have been answering the calls to citizens all over our city and region as it relates to these floods.
Has the city come closer to a number on how much damage assessment there is in terms of total loss and cost?
We continue to tally that. There's certainly a significant sum for the city of Milwaukee property itself.
Mayor Johnson, you signed a letter with the other mayors urging FEMA to act quickly. Do you feel like they've acted too slowly here in this case?
We are trying to bring some urgency to this. It is urgent, right? This is a 1,000-year flood episode that's happened here in our community, and so we want to make sure that there's all hands on deck, and so that's why myself, along with the other mayors and village presidents here in Milwaukee County, penned that letter in order to make sure we get resources back to our citizens and back to our local units of government that need the support from the federal government.
Can you talk about how citizens affected? What is a scam? What is it a scam? Especially when it comes to the crisis coming up.
Yeah, certainly, and you certainly have to be wary of folks that are out there and perhaps seeking to scam. My recommendation would be to call 211, work with our partners there. My understanding is that there's a listing of organizations that are willing to go out there and help individuals, and they're listed there, so work through those sort of channels as opposed to somebody randomly knocking at your door and saying that they're there to help, because sometimes that may not end up in your favor, because scammers are unfortunately out there. And after an event like this, and this is not exclusive to Milwaukee, this happens all over the country, when there's large-scale damage like this, you will have an infusion of folks that come and try to get over on people. So work through the proper channels in order to make sure you're working with an organization or a contractor that has the credentials, that actually does want to help, that won't actually cheat you out of your money when you're trying to recover from a flood like this. Sorry. Yeah, the one that I mentioned as well, the crisis cleanup, is one of those entities that is actually here to help and could be very useful. And folks can engage with them at 211 as well.
There was a figure mentioned, 53% of damage to Milwaukee. Is that properties in the city of Milwaukee? Can you verify that comment?
Has it been the ENS survey?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's from the reports that we've gathered from the Department of Neighborhood Services. We can get you that further information. There are some categories where we've identified minor damage, major damage, and total losses. I think when you add some of those categories up, major damage and total losses, it probably gets you to a significant number of properties in the city of Milwaukee that, unfortunately, due to the storm, had some really significant damage, and folks lost a lot of things. A lot of living space, a lot of valuable property, a lot of sentimental things as well.